Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the 10 to 14 days for today's second video. Date will take us to the 26th of January, and we'll be able to extend beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. Maybe around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFS at the end of the video. For the next 4 weeks gets us into the first half of February, and I shall get on with that for you in a moment. Just to say about the first video today was the 6 AM upload. I'm going to be live streaming from 8 PM this evening. Going to do a little bit of a snow watch live, I think. How's that sound? Have a look at some high-res data and see what's going on. As well as that, we'll have a look at the 12s now. We'll bring you up to date, hopefully, with the latest ECM at WS stratospheric forecast for the next 6 weeks. And, well, just generally hang out, you know, for an hour or so on a Monday evening. So I shall see you live then. Maybe. Please like, share, subscribe on the video. Thank you so much for doing that. Just got to put on around 50 subscribers now to get ourselves to 15.4k. So if you could give us a sub and help get us to 15.4k, then that'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for doing that. 16k is the ultimate target, of course, but going to be a little while before we get there, I think. Hey, you having a lovely Tuesday. It's cold out there, and that's where we're going to start with this video today. So just have a quick look at the temperature observations from XC Weather. So we've still got 7 degrees flashing away down across the southwest. Cardigan at 7 degrees and Plymouth at 7 degrees as well. However, go further north, it gets colder. Lydon at 4 degrees, Oxford at 4 degrees, Churchill Orford at 4, East Midlands just at 1 degree. Leek is only at 1 degree as well. Humberside at 2 degrees. Leeds Bradford 1 degree. And then we get into this blue area, and we find that Newcastle, for example, only at -1 there. We've also got Chatterhall just at -3. Goodness gracious. Estelmuir at -1 as well on the coast. Loftus is at freezing. And let's try somewhere else. Fylingdales is at -2 as well. Up to Scotland, 1 degree at Boyne, 3 degrees at Strathallan, 3 degrees to Glasgow, 1 degree at Edinburgh. Aviemore is at freezing. Loch Glasgow is at -1, and Aotearoa only -1 degree as well. And Belfast only at +1 also. So it gets progressively colder the further north you go, and this cold weather is in for the rest of the week now. So until, you know, Friday, we're going to be saying cold, harsh overnight frost. It will be little snow around as well. Some flakes have already fallen for some places today, and there could be a little bit more to come over the next few days. We'll have a look at the snow potential with our live stream tonight. And as I say, the cold weather is in now for the rest of the week. Probably getting milder over the weekend, though in the south it could be a bit of a struggle to get those mild temperatures through. Right, so got to do another section on the Strat, haven't we? So just to bring you up to date with stratospheric developments, of course. Now it's still cold on average at 10 HPA over the North Pole. The temperature is still hovering there with the JMA chart around -75. We should be up here somewhere around -60, perhaps even -58, something like that, by this point of the year. At 10 HPA in the stratosphere over the North Pole. Go lower down to 30 HPA, remains very cold there as well, with temperature still around -85 degrees. We should be somewhere around -70. So obviously a very strong stratospheric polar vortex continues with these very cold temperatures. What's going on in terms of warming? Let's have a look. So this is the latest, or the first GFS forecast from today. This is the midnight GFS one. These blue and purple colours, these are the cold temperatures over the North Pole in the stratosphere at 10 HPA. We had our first minor warming a couple of days ago, but we need to fizzle out now over the Pacific side of the Arctic. Let's see what happens over the next few days then. So the PB becoming stretched and elongated there in the next couple of days. As another warming begins to gather pace across southern parts of Europe. That warming intensifying now, becoming quite a significant warming in around a week's time. So this is now coming into the semi-reliable time frame. This big push up in the temperature over Siberia, scheduled for around the 23rd of January. Still, the polar vortex, over the Arctic and the North Pole boat is well and truly in business. Still got those deep blue and purple colours churning away. So that's how we look as we get to the 24th of January. On the GFS midnight run, very significant warming. Then we go into the extended range, and that warming penetrating from Siberia toward the North Pole, a displacement event of the polar vortex taking place there. Not splitting it, but we are displacing it into the northern part of Europe, as this warming from Siberia, penetrates right into the North Pole itself. That might be enough to send the wind into reverse, but certainly, the one thing we're still left looking for with that is a split of the PV. That is what we call a displacement event rather than a split. This is the very latest GFS, number 6 there. Again, with those very cold temperatures over the Arctic and over North Pole, with those blue and purple colours. So, running through the next few days, again, we find that that warming starting in around a week's time there over Siberia. Very significant warming of the stratosphere taking place then into the extended range. That warming starts to move in towards the North Pole. Again, a displacement event taking place with polar vortex. Now, do we split the polar vortex there? Do we split it? What do you think? See how we've got one lobe of blue going off in towards the eastern part of America, and another, the main areas like across northern Europe. Possibly we just about split polar vortex there, but I still think that's more of a displacement event than a split. But look at that warming we end up with right over top of the North Pole by the end of January into the beginning of February. That should be enough to send us out of wind into reverse, even if we don't actually split the PV. Is that a split? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Is that a split? Is that a split? I'm a bit undecided on it. So it looks like it could just about be, doesn't it? But it looks like it's on course for a very significant warming to start in around a week's time over Siberia. Then we wait to see where we go with that. Looks like we are probably going to push it into the North Pole. And we've got to wait and see whether it will be enough to send us over into reverse, and whether it will be enough to split the polar vortex, the stratospheric polar vortex. We'll have to wait and see. Just quickly going through the GFS ensembles. This is the control run. Again, very significant warming of the stratosphere from Siberia right way into the North Pole with that one. This is ensemble member number 1. Again, doing pretty much the same thing, really. Ensemble member number 2 splits the vortex. We split the vortex with ensemble member number 2. That is a proper split. So I'm not sure whether the GFS operational run was splitting polar vortex. It might just about be, but this is a proper split of the PV. Look at that. There's no two ways about that. Ensemble member number 2 is doing everything that you would want from a southern stratospheric warming. Ensemble member number 3 looks like that again, so significant with that warming penetrating right into the North Pole. Ensemble member number 4, again, very significant warming of the stratosphere. Ensemble member number 5 splits the stratospheric polar vortex. We split it with ensemble member number 5. Look at that at the end of January, big split of the PV with that one. Ensemble member number 6 looks like that. No split of the PV up to the 1st of February, but very significant warming of the stratosphere. That is a southern stratospheric warming, I think, into the North Pole. Should be enough to send us wind into reverse with that, I would have thought. Ensemble member number 7 splitting the stratospheric polar vortex. Look at that. And producing not only the warming over Siberia, but also another warming over North America and probably Canada as well. That looks very impactful. Ensemble member number 8 is looking like this. No split of the PV this one, but a very significant, massive warming of the stratosphere. Ensemble member number 9 looks like that. Again, really significant warming. Ensemble member number 10. Again, very, very significant warming with that one. Ensemble member number 11. Again, very significant warming. They're all going for it now in the last week of January, aren't they? Ensemble member number 12. Looks like that. Ensemble member number 13. Looks like that again. So significant with that warming. Goodness gracious, right over the top of the bowl. Ensemble member number 14. Looks like that. Ensemble member number 15. Looks like that. They're all pretty much going for a very significant warming. The only thing left is the split of the PV. That's the only question mark. Ensemble member number 16 just about splitting the PV, but then it starts to close back up again. Ensemble member number 17. Looks like that. No split of PV with that one. Ensemble member number 18. Again, no split of PV with that one. Ensemble member number 19. Well, this will split PV. Let's have a look. So does the PV split there? Maybe. But the main thing is the warming over the North Pole with that one. Ensemble member number 20 splits the PV. Ensemble member number 20 splits it. Wow. Ensemble member number 21. What's that one going to do? Very significant one, but no split of the PV with that one. Ensemble member number 22 splits it. Yeah, we get a big split of the PV with ensemble member number 22. Ensemble member number 23. Again, splitting the polar vortex. I think this is an upgrade with these ensembles today. That's another one splitting the polar vortex. Ensemble member number 24. Very significant warming, no split. Ensemble member number 25. Again, very significant warming with that one. Ensemble member number 26. Again, very significant warming. Ensemble member number 27. All much of a muchness. Ensemble member number 28. A little bit toned down with that one, maybe. Ensemble member number 29. Again, very significant warming, no split. Ensemble member number 30. Again, very significant warming penetrating into the North Pole. So it looks like, the next week is going to produce a very significant warming of the stratosphere, starting over Siberia, moving into the North Pole, displacing polar vortex. Definitely a displacement event. Whether we actually pull off a split and send the zone wind into reverse, I think we probably will send the zone wind into reverse if the temperature gets this high, over the top of the North Pole. I can't see why we wouldn't send the solar wind into reverse. So the only question then is whether we split the PV. This is the solar wind forecast from the GFS 6Z ensemble suite. So starting off with very strong solar winds at the moment. Of course, it's from weatheriscool.com. Keeping those strong solar winds for the next week. Then a plummet of the solar wind taking place through the last week of January. See how all these green lines are plummeting away. We have got several members of the GFS ensembles that are sending solar winds into reverse mode just there. It looks like there's a cluster of them. It looks like there's plenty actually now that send the solar wind into reverse. In the closing days of January. So we wait and see where this is going. Significant development. And then, of course, if we do get the whole set, we do get the warming and the zone wind into reverse and the split of the PV, let's say we do all of that, we still then have to wait and see what, if any, effect that has on the troposphere. Wait for the tropospheric response in 2 to 3 weeks afterwards. So it's all to play for. We'll keep you posted. Central temperature beginning to edge down now. So we're currently sitting at 7.7, which is just under 4 degrees above average. That is provisional to the 15th of January. That, of course, is going to come down quite a bit over the next few days as cold weather is well and truly set in now till the weekend. So these were GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We're at Southampton today. Suggested location for this part of the video. If you'd like to have your local town or city featured within this part of the video, then please let us know, and we're more than happy to do that for you. So starting off cold, of course, at the moment. We've got a run of cold days until the weekend. Over weekend into next week, a recovery in the upper air temperatures taking place, and then into the closing days of January, hovering close to average with those upper air temperatures. While it's cold, it's going to be reasonably dry. We'll start a bit more unsettled potentially as we get into next week. Got to work that out, and then perhaps going drier again into closing days of January as high pressure builds up. Not much doing for Southampton with slow row. And as far as the sea level pressure is concerned, so starting off with low pressure at the moment, but we will see pressure lifting up through the course of next week, going to around 1,040 millibars. Temperature anomalies on the 16th, 24th of January, going to be colder than average through most of Western Europe. The UK and Ireland is included in that. The precipitation anomaly from the 16th to the 24th of January, largely on the drier than average side. Latest wind play map from urbannullschool.net shows up it starts to pull wind in from the north now. So the northwesterlies, which was already a chilly wind direction that we had yesterday, being pushed down towards Biscay. We're now starting to set up proper Arctic origin, polar origin air northerly winds. So if we follow the arrows back, you can see that the air is originating from up here, from Svalbard, maybe, and that is plunging down the western side of Europe, and that's the reason that the next few days will be very cold. So this is how the latest UK Met Euro looks for midnight on Thursday, in a cold northerly wind still then. High pressure ridging in at the end of the week, keeping the cold weather going. Into the weekend, milder air trying to get in from off the Atlantic, but we're still more or less under high pressure. So particularly for the south and east, it could be quite cold even into the weekend, actually. It does turn milder for the north and the west. Eventually, a weather system pushing through the country. That might bring a little bit of rain with it, and it turns dry behind it as this ridge builds in, back in from off the Atlantic. Doesn't look all that mild, I have to say, that for the south of the east. It could stay quite cold, even into the start of next week in southern and eastern regions. Icon looks like that, getting that cold northerly wind on Thursday, which of high pressure for Friday, and then high pressure just taking over, really, through weekend and into next week. So, again, how much, if any, mild temperatures we get into the south and the east, remains to be seen. I think the north and west will be turning milder over the weekend, but just how much of that mild air makes it down into the southern and eastern part of the country with this high pressure building over and to the east of the country, that is open to question. GFS midnight run has us in that cold run of northerly winds again on Thursday, then staying cold into Friday as well. Milder air coming into the north and west on Saturday, but probably still quite cold in the south and the southeast, actually, right way through the Sunday. Not until the early part of next week, but even in the southeast, we probably start to drag up some milder air from the southwest. Then high pressure's back in for day 10, right over top of the country, beginning to pull something a bit colder in again from the east and from the northeast. Then going to a proper high pressure fest through the closing days of January. Big high pressure through southern parts of Scandinavia, bringing in a not particularly cold easterly wind, but certainly would be a chilly easterly wind, and we probably would see plenty of frost and fog and whatnot with that. We finish up still with high pressure more or less over the top of the country, so mainly dry, cold, or chilly anyway, with a risk of frost and fog. The GFS 6Z run, again, with that northern wind on Thursday, staying cold into Friday. Southern and east there, still looking quite cold on Saturday, probably a little bit milder further north and west. That cold air still into the south and the east, I think, as we get into Sunday. Monday, possibly starting to bring milder air even into south and southeast. Certainly the north and west has turned milder by Monday. They also get this funny little low knocking around the country. I'm not sure about that. I think the GFS probably loses the plot at that point, before by day 10 high pressure is trying to get back in over Scandinavia, and so we go colder again into the closing days of the month with winds in from the east. It's not particularly cold easily, but it's coming up the continent. It's late January, so at the very least it will be chilly, and there will be frost and fog and that, with that. Into the end of the GFS 6Z, remember high pressure beginning to show signs of breaking down, perhaps by the beginning of February. That's a very long way out in this pattern. If you enjoyed the video, please you like, subscribe. Thank you so much for doing that. Why not drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. We thank you so much, everybody, for doing this for us. 50 subscribers will get to 15.4k. Please give us a sub. Thank you so much for doing that. GM, again, looking cold on Thursday. Winds in from the north. Then over the weekend, milder air pushing in from the southwest. Probably getting the milder air into the south and the east by Sunday with the GM. A little bit more progressive in bringing those milder west-southwesterlies in. And up to day 10, we have another swipe of quite cold air from the northwest, actually, with the GM. So a rather different run compared to everything else with the GM today. And then the ECM once more with those cold northerly winds on Thursday, with some high pressure coming cold for Friday. Milder air coming in from up the Atlantic over the weekend. Probably getting the mild air into southeast by Sunday with the ECM as well. So the GM and the ECM are a little bit more progressive in getting those milder temperatures through to the south and southeast, I think. And then the ECM really builds up high pressure as we head up into all days 8, 9, 10. High pressure taking over across the country. That will probably bring us frost and fog and that sort of thing, I would have thought, by that point. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from tometeo.com. Plenty of snow showers in northern, western areas over the next days. Not that much getting into central regions. And then we go into the end of week, some patchy rain coming into west, so that might turn sleet or so for a while. But not all that wintry, with that, not all that snowy, I should say. And then high pressure just takes over, and so not going to be much precipitation around then either. We will have a look a little bit more in depth, though, at the snow potential over the next few days with some high-res models in our live stream tonight. Once again, we can't show the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today. Though the Icelandic Met Office hasn't updated them. As soon as they come back on stream, I will bring them to you, but for now, we can't show them. So the last thing we'll look at is CFSB2, being a 500 millibar height anomalies breaking down into week periods. The first week period will take us from the 16th to 22nd of January. The coming week will have below average heights to our south and southeast. Winds will be coming in from a cold northerly direction. So obviously we are in for cold and wintry week ahead. Week 2 is the 23rd to 29th of January. High pressure sets up over Scandinavia. Winds turn into the east. So that looks like it could be quite cold as well in week 2. Week 3 at the end of January to 5th of February brings low pressure back in from off the Atlantic, turning milder, wetter and windier there for the beginning of February. And then week 4 is the 6th to the 12th of February with low pressure out to our west, high pressure to our south and east. Some winds are coming up from a mild southwest direction of mild first half of February with the CFS V2 there. And we're done. If you enjoyed the video, please can you like, share, subscribe. If you show your both do that, why not drop a comment? Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Amazing, incredible. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Right, so that's it for day 10 to 14 days. Just tell you what's coming up tomorrow. 6 a.m. upload. We'll have the EC 30 days / 6 weeks. Okay, for the UK and for the rest of Europe as well. There'll be a 10 to 14 day tomorrow also. Going to be live streaming, as I say, at 8 p.m. tonight, so I shall see you live for that one. We're going to do a little bit of Snow Watch live, so it'll be a bit of fun. I shall see you a little bit later on for that one. Enjoy the rest of your Monday afternoon, and for this video, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.